I'm ready, whenever you
All right.
are. There are no minutes.
No minutes. All right.
Y'all ain't met in a while.
Call the ad hoc committee to order. There are no minutes to approve. Any public comment at this time? No public comment. All right, Diane, turn this over to you.
Sure. This is to review the legislation that's coming up on the 21st, as a matter of fact, at the state. It's the red flag law. And we've passed out some of the resolution. I've just had some people approach me, my son for one, I know we can't do anything as a body to override, supersede, whatever the state does. We're not trying to do that. But if they don't know that we don't like this, that we're in opposition to this, if we don't do this by a resolution saying, I'm gonna read the caption, y'all good. I think there's enough of it going around. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, requesting the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee preserve the fundamental right of Tennesseans to keep and bear arms. And preacher, Mr. Denton, had to be at a funeral tonight, and he wanted me to be sure to tell you, Mr. Chairman, that he was wholeheartedly for this. So, I don't want this to be, a D and an R kind of thing, but that's not what this is at all. It's just that it's something I just myself believe in and think we need to go on record as a body saying that we are in opposition, if we do want to do that.
Amen.
That's just the way I feel about it. So if we don't tell the state legislators, how they gonna know? Right? That's all I got. Has anybody seen this?
Any other discussion?
Bobby?
So what we're saying is that we're acknowledging we don't have the right to pass the
That's
law or
right.
anything. We're just letting the General Assembly know how we feel as a
That we're
county.
opposed to it, yes, that's all.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Sorry.
May I say something?
Sure.
I would not feel right if I didn't say something, but
I wouldn't go right either if you did.
I wholeheartedly believe in our Second Amendment rights. I wholeheartedly believe that everybody should own a gun. Own as many as you want. I may have a few myself. My issue though is I haven't had any phone calls from anybody in my district about this. We're voting as a body to send something down there that I don't disagree with. I agree with the resolution, but I don't know if it's proper for our county commission to pass this, to send it down there to say we disagree as a county, because it doesn't affect county business. There's nothing here that affects county business other than what you said, Diane, and what I agree with you. You said, I believe this is personal. This is personal to me, and my Second Amendment right is mine. It's nobody else's. Mine is mine.
It's guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States.
It is, but it's a personal issue. And Diane, I'm afraid the perception is it will be an R or a D thing. That's the perception. Let me go on record again saying I don't disagree with what's written on this paper. What I disagree with is that if our county commission needs to take this down there, I just don't know if it's proper.
The county commission needs to send it to the representatives that represent the county. That's what we always have to do.
Because if they pass something, the county's gotta enforce it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That affects our business.
I mean, didn't we do something very similar last term? Where we actually upheld everyone's Second Amendment rights, and that passed by our commission. I mean, we
That was
stood by the
specifically
Constitution.
to Wilson County.
Right, but we did actually stand up and actually make a statement as a commission that we believe in the Second Amendment, and we believe in everybody's Second Amendment rights to bear arms. So we've made that statement as a body.
And again,
Just-
we're not
just something to
saying
think
that
about.
we're passing law. We're just sending a message to the state assembly that this is how we feel.
Should we change it and
That's
send it
correct.
to our representatives rather than the whole assembly?
But it goes to our representatives, they carry it, I
There
believe.
you go.
Yeah, section three's gotta go to the state legislators, the governor, and speaker, and that's it.
But what is our mechanism, Mike? Do we wait and pass it on the 21st and they're open for business 21st?
Well, you can't pass it before the 21st,
That's all right.
obviously, but Yeah, if you pass it that night, it'll go right until the next day. I'm assuming Sandra will send you one. It's usually what
That's-
happens, yeah.
So Commissioner Franklin and I talked about this earlier, and I appreciate you sending it to me, and I read over it. And I had the same concerns, and we had a long conversation about, you know, when we give the legislature what we're gonna think as a body, okay? And I hope they listen, okay? But a situation like this, a lot of times just puts you in the middle of the road. Those people that like it are all for you, those that are not. And if we're fighting on a hill to defend a hill, and it's worth fighting for, I mean, that's completely fine, but we don't really have a say. You can definitely tell them what you think,
That's right.
okay? And then as you know, and then again, when you vote as a commission, you know, then it's just gotta be the majority of them that do it. So I reached out to the mayor's caucus and asked the other mayors, you know, what's going on in your place? Nobody else has a resolution going. They did have a few people that felt pretty strong about it, and they said, and this was only in Williamson County, was the only one that did that. So, you know, as a commission, as a commissioner, I won't speak for my full commission, but as a commissioner, speaking for the people in my district, because that's what I'm asked to do. I polled those people, and they asked me to let my legislature know that our people are against that. Because every district, he said, in the county may not be against it. But my people told me I wasn't, so I'm gonna write a personal letter. Now, the other guy, other mayor said too, that probably may have more effect, because you could possibly have 25 letters going to your 3 representatives instead of 1. And so that's a conversation that I had with them, so that's, and then I think he also mentioned, he said, you said to me, the ad hoc committee was really designed for us to send our word. That is very true, but that's when they made a ruling and it's out there and fixing the pass. We don't know what this ruling is. As a matter of fact, we don't even think that they may even have any legs from what we're hearing on this. But, and it, as you said that day too, it could end that morning and there'd be no need for this resolution because they could adjourn at the very beginning and then you would just pull it. But I think that's what I've heard so far over the past that week.
One of the real problems about all this is the governor has he's used kind of a constitutional authority that he has to call a meeting that's supposed to be for emergencies. And usually an emergency session is just 1 or 2 items. I'm hearing there's going to be 18 things considered, and none of them, as we speak, you can read. So it's very difficult to weigh in. In a general, if this was going in full session in January, everybody would have ample time to see what everybody was going to work on. It'd go to all kind of committees. It may go to summer study. It'll go all through the process. But in this, it's sort of sneaking up on the legislation. I mean, it's, and the way this is written, and I put it together from actually the Putnam County one. And what it does, red flag laws can be defined by whoever wants to define them, I suppose. So it's written as what we're opposed to. And the main thing is that we don't want our constituents to be flagged and to have their Second Amendment rights taken away from them by something other than the way it is now. The way it is now, a doctor, medical, you can actually, I've been in code since 2000 that I know of. You can actually involuntarily put somebody in a mental institution that needs to be there. Not only will they not be able to buy a gun, they'll be able to get help at the same time. And the resolution also goes on to address that, and where that is probably where their effort needs to be, is mentally ill health. And that's even in section 2 of what we asked for. So kind of hard to write this because there isn't anything to write it about really, because it didn't give any knowledge. But that's also the problem. What do you do? I mean, you don't know. So it's very general. It just says, hey, don't tread on me. You know, my county don't want to do this. And I hope I can get 25 to say this. I really do. I hope this is unanimous as anything I've ever put forth. You know, I hope you join me in that opinion. And if they ignore it, they'll just ignore all 25.
And then my way in here is just a red flag. You know, what is that? Because every state articulates that differently.
Correct.
Right? And I'm willing to support each and every one of you here. And I think the context of this is how I also believe, right? But the red flag part really bugs me because it's not really defined. Would anyone be opposed to this removing the quotes red flag? Would that
That's what they're calling it.
Yep,
I mean,
that's the name of it.
Yeah, I just don't, but it,
But there's no definition, but that's the name of it.
but it's number one, number two, and number three meet, I think, what we're all trying to achieve, but none of us know what red flag is. And I would truly hate to attach my
Yeah,
vote
right, red
to
flag.
quote-unquote red flag, when I don't truly know what it is, because every state articulates it differently. That's my biggest holdup. But in regards to what I see as a problem in our communities, it's definitely mental health. From my perspective, as a police officer, I've seen plenty of people who shouldn't own firearms, but there's been that mechanism of involuntary committal, and that does take that firearm right away from them for a period of time until they get better. But to meet that standard, it's not that difficult. And so it scares me, what standard is the government trying to put in place to immediately remove firearms from people? But mental health's a big component. You know, there was a situation not too long ago where a fella kept trying to commit suicide. We took his guns from him. He then went to downtown Nashville and climbed the highest building he could and jumped off of it. You know, we got this individual all the help we could in our power as law enforcement, and he was seen by multiple doctors, and it was just in his head to do it, and he was able to do it. But from what I've also seen with our mental health specialist on staff, it's been a godsend, really, to help, and the amount of work she's able to do to help our officers get people help, where they don't even want the help, but that mental health specialist forces that person into getting help, and I think they're in a better place. And I hope what the state's trying to do, I hope they can be open-minded, not just, don't focus just on, you know, trying to take guns from people. Focus on the other aspect of things. Focus on mental health. Focus on smart gun ownership, right? I just had a gun in the city stolen last night. Kids going through neighborhoods, pulling on open car doors, and they're stealing guns. You know, if a thief, if a criminal wants to go out and get a gun, they don't buy it. They go walking through neighborhoods and they pull on car doors, and then they will find a gun if they spend some time and effort doing it. But we don't need to take guns from people. We need smart gun ownership, right, where guns are locked up, and we know how to use them, and we keep them secure properly. But we also need a big component of mental health, and we need to put that mental health in the resources of our county and resources of our city, where hopefully, just like we have at our city, we have a grant that pays for our mental health specialist. We need more of that to help people. You know, but I am worried about that red flag on it, because what is it?
It is what it is. I mean, that's what they're flagging. They're flagging that you do have a problem. So Tyler could say, I'm not gonna give that explanation that you did the other day, I'll tell you later, but you basically, as a law enforcement officer, could say he's crazy and go after his guns, whether he is or not, isn't, if they were to pass this. And he's gotta go to court and hire Mike Kurtz to get his guns back. Is that true? That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. And it's the same thing that,
It isn't.
Mike Cates, which is with Governor Lee's office, and them, and said that, you know, they all struggle with it. Same thing that the mayor was saying. They struggle with it because on one hand, everybody says, I want to keep my gun, I want to Second Amendment, no question. And then if you say that you lean towards that, you say, well, you don't care about people being shot up with the guns in schools, and you don't care about kids, which is not true. And that's what they're trying to balance, and that's what he said, that was why we wanted to meet. It ain't about red flag, it's about, okay, is there a solution? Is it mental health? What is it that we need to be doing? But you've had some that's jumped to the, oh, it's gonna be red flag, it's that's good. Because in that full meeting, he said, nobody knows what it's gonna be. And they didn't think that either, that they could pass anything really strict that quick. You talked about summer study and all that stuff. They don't think that anything major could happen. But now, again, I'm just going off of the people that have heard Senator Hale and some of those people talk, everyone's been right to that.
I think our senator has already told the governor he's gonna go straight to recess as soon as they, you know. hold a special session, and he may have the votes to do that, this may just need to be deferred or, tabled after that, I mean, who knows? But I don't think they're going into session till 4 PM, so I doubt that. So we probably won't get the word of it until the next day, so, anyway, it may be that, but on the other hand,
What you got?
What's the mechanism? You guys gonna pass this and those gonna sign?
That's
On
it.
sheet
That's
2
it.
and 3
That's
can
it.
do that at the beginning of the commission meeting and the ayes have it, the nays don't, or whatever. They
Yes.
cast your vote that way.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, at the
Put
very
form
beginning,
rev-
me and him argued about it, 13 of you do it.
we discussed it.
And
Second.
yeah, and 12 don't, and then, then
I don't want
some of
that.
y'all are seen as
I
people
don't
that
want
don't
that
care, one way or the other. And then if that resolution really made a difference down there, I'd be all for you. And I hate to say that, but I don't know that our resolution really,
Expresses opinion.
I think when they get down there, as Senator Pody has said many times, I let the cities and the counties do their business, and I do my business. And I think that's what he expects us a lot of times to do. But you're the commission. I'm just telling you what I've learned and heard since he put me on point to check it out.
Well, I think it's our job to go ahead and send it to the full commission and let them make their decision for themselves.
And you are comfortable with that red flag term, not understanding how it's defined?
If we can do better, yeah. Because that's what they're using.
Could you add a
Correct.
paragraph to actually explain how we determine red flag?
It may just be a wording thing, so-called red flag laws are repugnant to the U.S. Constitution, as defined in the Second Amendment, because such laws,
What Tyler think?
That's,
You can't change anything. You don't
Well,
know
1, 2,
anything about
3s
it.
of that whereas actually define what red flag is being referred to.
Get it out.
And that's why it's put together that way, because everybody has, we tried to define red flag laws with 1, 2, and 3 in that whereas, because I don't want somebody misinterpreting them.
Right.
That's what it is supposed to,
Or
that's
maybe-
what we're
What they're
referring to
doing.
red flag as.
or maybe to the U.S. Constitution's specifically against the Second Amendment, because such laws,
Are you good?
Because you're really trying to find something that we don't know we're trying to
That's
find,
it.
but definitely.
We're just
the
going on
word
record
red
saying we
flag.
don't want it.
Actually,
Express
That's all.
opinion.
It's simple.
so,
It had to be written that way because they haven't sent it through a regular session. They're kind of sneaking up on
And I-
everybody with this
Yeah.
special session.
I think this was Putnam County's, wasn't it?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, it's been done, is what I'm saying. Is that the first?
Call the vote.
You got a motion.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, Jeremy made a motion.
You did?
Motion
Second?
approved.
Yeah. Now you got a motion to say, now you ready.
Now we ready to vote?
All four, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No noes?
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Did you get that?
Any old business to come before us?
Okay.
There you go.
Any new business? Need another motion?
I'll have one.
Motion adjourned.